Oh, here we go with the Bush's beans again. We're not in Tennessee though. Nor am I getting on a plane, although we are going to go look at a few. Good day. It's a little brisk, but for November, it's pretty good. Because there ain't no snow yet. And it's the end of the month. We're still good. Okay, we're going to go check out the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada. This is located right at the Winnipeg airport. The airport's all over there. There's the air traffic control tower. And I'm guessing this is the entrance, but why the beans? Being close to Christmas, they're doing a food drive, and allegedly, if you bring a non-perishable item, they give you your parking for free. So I said, yeah, I can do that. That's a win-win there. So my hands are cold. Never been here before. This museum used to be kind of on that side of the world, I believe. Kind of on the outskirts of the airport, and they moved it here. They built this, I believe, in the year 2000. So let's go check it out. Oh, here's their hours. If you want their hours, well, it's hard to see with the reflection. 10 to 5, basically, every single day. 10 to 5. Okay, we're in. Admission is about $16. There's a little bit of tax on it too. $16.80, I think, for a regular admission. But there's 2 levels to the museum. There's kind of this ground floor that's kind of a hangar-esque. But then up on the second level there's some more, and there's a viewing lounge of the airport, like of the actual Winnipeg airport, and some other stuff up there. So I think they said this was built in 2022 is when it opened. So in the couple years before that was where they built it. Okay, I'll take you around. We'll look at some of the exhibits. So this is an aerial camera. And between the world wars, a sign here saying that they got the Canadian Air Force. They call these flying boats. I could see why. But they were flying around Canada taking aerial photographs, basically mapping out a bunch of the country. They just got like one prop pushing it. Well, that's the gas can on top. The gray thing right there, Huh. Well, they got an old engine sitting here too, like a rotary. It is literally a boat. This is just, okay, what is this? A Vickers Vedette Mark V. I'm not sure I want to fly in the Marks 1 to 4. I like he's got like a hook on the side for like, I don't know what, like for grabbing onto the shore when he lands. Huh. Of course, it's all wood. There's a carcass of an old one right there, right? I'll go closer. So yeah, there's a carcass of another one, all wood. Looks like it's like nailed together. But this would be in the 1930s they were doing this, so I guess you take what work comes to you. It says the engines are air cooled, so there's no coolant, so they're flying up north a lot. Cold air is good enough. Huh. Volunteers built this, like the good one. So volunteers rebuilt this. So the one that's intact there, they just kind of pieced it together from wreckages, kind of reverse engineered the thing. Wonder if it ever flew. They've got nice like touch screens. You can like activate the videos, like they'll explain stuff. At least I assume they're going to explain something to me here.
Land surveying was carried out much as it had been for hundreds of years, on the ground by foot or canoe. This was a slow, painstaking process, meaning most maps of the country were
so we thought, why not put wings on the canoe?
In 1924, the demand
it
for
worked.
maps for mining and forestry increasing.
So I kind of have a note here that the Winnipeg airport is called the Richardson, I think it's the James A. Richardson Airport. This is why. Apparently he, back in 1927, founded an airline along with a bush pilot, Harold Doc Oakes. So Richardson nowadays is more known as a grain company, but they have the name on the airport now, and that's probably why. They got some historical ties to air traffic and freight moving in Canada. Alright, let's move on. What is this? Nowhere to sit. I'm guessing it's like a... Do you tow it? Maybe a target for shoot? Oh, it is target. Look. It says on the wing, target. Yeah. I have another video on my channel. It's talking about the Commonwealth Air Training Plan Museum. And I went up in a little tiger moth. But they were talking about they towed targets by one plane and had other planes try to shoot them down. Oh, a little flight simulator. They had one of these in Brandon at the Commonwealth Museum. It's a little flight simulator thing. Kind of looks like one of those rides in front of the grocery store, but a lot more sophisticated. Yeah, it's probably, they got a little bit of a nod to the whole World War II training scheme. And that's Canadian Airways Limited. That's that company that the bush pilot Doc and Richardson started up. I don't see a sign. I'll have to go around the other side and see what kind of plane that is. She looks a little boxy. Got kind of big cargo doors on the side. It's a Junkers. Largest single engine aircraft ever to operate on floats and skis. The flying boxcar. No kidding. That's about what it looks like. Oh, there's two propellers. Or two sort of stuck together. I don't know, can you go inside this? Probably not. Rolls-Royce engine. I'll have to get in there behind there later. They're doing like an event here. I don't know when it starts up, but they got a whole bunch of tables set up here today. Normally I'm told these aren't here. This is just sort of open space, but I'm not sure what the event is, but I'll get out of here before it starts. Just wandering around. Hey, what's for supper? Oh, here's a big Air Canada. Oh, this is a prop plane. Okay, now we're getting a little more modern. Okay, before we get into that, I want to look at this one before this event gets fired up. This one has a folding wing. What is this? Fairchild 71C. 1928. Obviously on floats. And the wing folds. I don't think that's for display. I think that was meant to be. It's hinged on the bottom here. Huh. Oh yeah, you can see the fuel line up there too from the wing. So I believe this statue out front that we sort of saw coming in, I think that's of this guy here. So Tom Lamb. So he was raised in Moose Lake, Manitoba. He started, it just says he was in Northern Commerce canoe building. And then he was rescued by a bush pilot. He got stuck somewhere. Then he started his own airline. By the 1950s, the company was carrying passengers and freight as far as Baffin Island. Huh. Yeah. The 71C was an improvement to the Fairchild's earlier FC2 Razorback. Featured expanded cabin, folding wings for storage in areas without hangars. It looks like it's just, oh it is, it's just fabric. Love those old planes. So for those of you watching that aren't familiar with Manitoba, that picture there is kind of a good depiction. A lot of little lakes as you move further north. I haven't gone north myself very much at all. Like really not at all. I'm kind of stuck to the prairies, but yeah, that's kind of a lot of the theme of this museum so far. They're talking about the early exploration because air to go north made a lot more sense because there's not many roads even today. Not many roads, not many rail lines that go north. So I guess small bush pilot kind of planes propping up just made absolutely perfect sense for this province. One thing Manitoba does have is a lot of sky, a lot of clear days in Manitoba. So this is a Fokker Super Universal. So built in 1929. It's an improvement on the earlier Fokker Universal featuring a closed cockpit. Yeah, if you're going north, enclosing the cockpit is a good improvement. Bit of a more powerful engine too. This little sign over here had a little story. It was like titled "Oh, to the rescue." I thought, oh, maybe they flew rescue missions. Like, no, other way around. The planes ran out of fuel on a fairly regular basis, apparently, and local natives or Inuit had to bail out the guys that would land. They wouldn't crash. They would be able to land somewhere, but then it's like they're out of gas. They're way up north. What are you going to do? So they got some help. That sign there, the story they were saying, there's a guy who was flying one of these Fokkers and ran out of fuel. They had to land. They were a prospecting mission. And some Inuit found them and sort of helped them build their own shelters. And then when the weather cleared up, they helped them find their way to a trading fort so they could get back to civilization. But I think they were gone for like, was it 3 months? And no one knew where they went. Other planes went to look for them, but they couldn't find them because they were holed up in their shelters. Okay, I lied. They were only gone about a month. But still, when your plane disappears and a month later you show up at a fort on the Hudson Bay. Okay, we're going to see how they start their engine in the Arctic. I'm not sure if this counts as copyright. I'm in the museum just watching it. I don't know if that's an issue.
Bush pilots flying in northern Canada in the 1920s and 30s keep their aircraft flying in all conditions. Lubricating oil could freeze in sub-zero temperatures, rendering an aircraft's engine useless within minutes. So, on landing, air crews scrambled to drain the oil from the engine into buckets, which were stored indoors overnight. The blow pot. Fueled by gasoline, blow pots were used together with canvas engine covers to bring the engine up to starting temperature.
Oh, yeah.
This was a tedious, unpleasant process.
No kidding.
As Canadian Airways Limited air engineer.
Okay, this plane here has an unusual story with a strange connection to World War II events that you're all familiar with. So apparently, I don't know if it was this exact plane, but one awfully close to it. See that curved wing right there? And the Radium Silver Express. Same thing, it's like a hinged wing. So apparently in the 30s and 40s, the CFAWR transported the mineral pitch blende from the El Dorado mine at Great Bear Lake, Northwest Territories. Pitch blende was refined into radioactive metal radium used in luminous clocks, dials, and cancer therapy. But they also, during the Second World War, uranium from the mine was used to make the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So I don't know if it was this exact plane, but one like it was actually bringing the ore, the process, into the uranium for the atomic bomb dropped on Japan. I didn't know there was a Canadian connection to that at all. But apparently there's a bit of a Manitoba, Northwest Territory kind of connection to it. It's a Belanca 6670 air cruiser. It's a 1.5 wing, a biplane with the lower wings are shorter than the upper wings. It was designed to carry 12 passengers, but when U.S. regulations banned the use of single-engine airliners, it was sold as a bush plane. Huh. So it's a 1.5 biplane. Yeah, like this V-shaped lower wing. It's very unique. You gotta remember to look up when you're at this museum too, because they got a bunch of planes that are suspended from the ceiling. So that is a beaver up there. Not very often you say that's a beaver up there. Usually it's down there. Havilland Canada Beaver Mark I. Widely considered the best bush plane ever built. Beaver was designed by de Havilland Canada in 1947, based on input from veteran bush pilots. Made it ideal for operations in the north. That's the orange one up there. I'm gonna go outside yet too, because I think you can go out a little. They got some of it fenced off. I don't know how far you can go. Anyways, they got a couple fighter jets out there. Go check it out. But this one, I think the sign for it is this one here. So if I'm lining this correctly up here, that jet is this one here. It's the McDonnell CF-101B Voodoo. For more than 2 decades, the Voodoo served as Canada's primary defense against Soviet nuclear bombers. Able to reach speeds twice the speed of sound and climb to an altitude of 35,000 feet in 2 minutes. From 61 to 84. That was the fighter. I'm always surprised how big they are when you get up close to them. Like, you always think, oh, fighters are just like carrying 1 or 2 pilots or smaller planes. They're actually pretty beastly when you get up close. And this looks like a rocket. Douglas Air 2 Genie rocket. 1962. Unguided Genie. Carried a 1.5 kiloton nuclear warhead. Oh, this is a nuke. Allowing it to shoot down multiple Soviet nuclear bombers at once. What? Am I reading this correctly? They're using a nuke to shoot down bombers? Huh, they're carried on the Voodoos, okay. From 65 to 84. It's inert. Well, yeah, I would hope so, it's inert, but... And then there's another rocket right here. So this one's the Falcon. That's from the US's first operational guided air-to-air missile, using infrared sensors to home in on the heat of the target's engines. Designed for use against slow-moving bombers. Okay. That's just a high explosive head on this one. Neat. I'm a little bit confused if I'm like not getting the story right, but is that not a little crazy that we're shooting 1.5 kiloton nuclear warheads at nuclear bombers over Canada at one point? Although I don't know if they actually shot down any, but, you know, the standoff was a real thing. But if that's true, these look like they go in and out. Huh. And it's unguided, so it's just... hope it gets there. It says emergency exit only, so I don't think I'm supposed to go out there, but they got some planes kind of... There's the Voodoo over there. They must have a sign somewhere. They're pretty good at having signs. There's one over there. That looks too small to be cargo. I bet you that's some sort of military plane too. This one here. Windows in the bottom. I wonder if this is some sort of like survey plane. And it looks like there's a fighter behind it. I'll try and find a sign, or if you can go out there, I'll try and find out. So we're kind of mixing up the themes and applications, but this is a Lockheed 10A Electra, and that was 1937, and that was meant as an airliner. So they're kind of getting into the modern airline kind of things, and here's an Air Canada. What is this? They got a Vickers VC2 Viscount. More of a... See, this looks like a modern plane, like to me, like just the styling, the door on the side. It's still a propeller, it's not a jet engine, but like it is looking more like this is what planes were when I grew up kind of thing, or what the toys were anyways. Oh, can you go in here? No food or drink, but it doesn't say I can't go. Nice. Now we've got some other jets over there, we gotta get back to them. Well, we're going in the jet though, we're going in. Oh! Ooh. That's cramped. I'd be so scared of bumping buttons if I was crammed in there. Hit the wrong thing. Alright. Oh yeah, bathrooms are about the same size as today. They have never improved on that. Oh, you can actually stand up in here though. Like, that's me standing up. It's not bad actually. See, the basic concept is kind of the same as today. Overhead bins and whatnot. And we can come out the back, I think. Yes. Neat. Like the basic layout of passenger planes from this point on is kind of the same as it is now. It's just they're a little bit bigger and fancier and nicer, but kind of really haven't changed the layout at all. Okay, now I have not read the signs yet, but this one looks like, is this one like a vertical takeoff? Does this like the whole wing pivots up? Because they look so stubby and short. Canadair CL-84 Dynavert, it's called. Designed to take off and land like a helicopter. Yeah, it is. Fly like a conventional fixed-wing aircraft. It was ahead of its time, predating designs like the Boeing V-22 Osprey by decades. First flown in 1965. This one was built in 1969. Huh. Who built that? Canadair. Interesting. I'm gonna guess that was a Canadian company being called Canadair. Oh yeah, here's a picture of it. Yeah, look at that. Vertical takeoff. Yeah, it could be flown both in vertical and in horizontal flight using the same controls. 4 prototypes were built and put through extensive trials. This one here is one of only 2 surviving prototypes, was never flown, being used to test fit equipment for the planned missions. Huh. So this one is super rare then. But yeah, that's kind of neat. Like a Canadian company developed a vertical takeoff aircraft. That is really neat. Its wings are so short. Oh my goodness. I've heard of this. I think my dad told me about this thing. The Avro car. It's like a bloody flying saucer. I've heard, I never thought I'd see one with my own eyes. Look at this thing, it looks like it's fake. 1950s I can't take it seriously also, but this is the real thing. Like look, it's real. It's not, okay. Huh. Avro Canada's saucer-shaped Avro car. 3 jet engines drove a central turbine, generating thrust that lifted the aircraft off the ground. Thrust could also be diverted through ducts to propel the craft in any direction. So the U.S. Air Force agreed to fund Avro's research, requesting a vehicle capable of flying 3 times the speed of sound at 100,000 feet. In testing, however, the Avro car failed to rise more than 1 meter off the ground and was dangerously unstable. Well, okay, I'm not an aeronautical engineer. I probably could have told you that that was not going to really work that well. It is just a circle. You could just walk right around this thing. It's literally a flying saucer. If you're ever in Winnipeg, come to the museum and see the flying saucer. That's hilarious. They got a bunch of engines on display here too. They got some neat cutaways here. See the pistons, the valves. There's the camshaft. Okay, we're back at the fighters. So this is a Voodoo trainer. This is like a, I don't know if it's a simulator, but they used it for training purposes anyways. So there. That's what it looks like. That's the view. So look way up to the roof. All the way down to here. So this is a black Brant, a Bristol Black Brant 4B sounding rocket. So this wasn't just meant to test rockets going up. This is actually carrying payloads.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to test things.
Yeah, this one actually flew on the space shuttle.
Really?
They had a little bins that they had mounted across the cargo bay here. You'll see them on this bridge in the middle.
Yeah.
And they called them getaway specials. And I remember working on this it was in 1986.
Okay.
Because I was working downtown doing the numerical analysis of the heat transfer into the heat sink in this thing that absorbed all the heat of the samples cooling.
Okay.
And we had the blizzard of 86.
So this is in Winnipeg you're talking,
Yeah, we built this whole thing in Bristol.
Nice.
And I remember they told us after this big blizzard, don't bother coming into Winnipeg if you don't have to. And I was living out near Birds Hill.
Birds Hill to Winnipeg in a blizzard, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they make the rockets in Winnipeg too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, they made the rocket motors, the first and second stage on this one.
Where'd they launch them from though?
All over the world.
Okay.
Churchill, in Canada, Churchill was the primary base, but we launched them out of Alaska, southern U.S., off both coasts of the U.S., out of Australia, Europe, all over the place.
Nice.
And scientists from different universities would pose an experiment that they wanted to do and what it would entail. And there was kind of a Canadian Space Agency scientific research team. They would review the various proposals from the different universities and pick a group that they would support, and we'd build a payload to suit them and launch their instruments.
Nice.
And you push the button, 20 minutes later it's back on the ground, and all the data was radioed to the ground. And sometimes we'd put a parachute recovery system on and recover the payloads.
Sometimes not?
Sometimes not.
Sometimes if just let them go.
Well, sometimes you're launching into Hudson Bay and out of Churchill.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Nobody's going to go get those.
20 minutes. It was just 20-minute experiments. That was it.
And that's the ones that flew really high.
Yeah.
They had to go over 1,000 kilometers to get 20 minutes.
Holy smokes.
Height. But lots of them flew 300, 400, 500 kilometers, and they were down on the ground in 10 minutes.
Huh.
Yeah, we will.
Well, thanks for talking. It was good to meet you.
Good to see you too. Enjoy your trip.
You too. Yeah, that gentleman, I'm guessing he's retired by now, but he says he worked at Bristol Aerospace, and he said, yeah, he built those. Kind of nice running into him here. So this, I kind of like how this jet looks. CF-104 Starfighters. From 1962 to 1972. And I think that is a thermonuclear bomb. Science said these planes had a couple roles. The first is that they were carrying thermonuclear bombs when they were operating in Europe. And you think, hey, wait a minute, I didn't think Canada had nukes. Well, apparently we got into it a little bit because the Americans officially owned the nukes and controlled their use, but Canadian planes were carrying them at some point. So yeah, here's the second role, I think, was they were doing reconnaissance missions. And I think that's what that guy is there. I think that's a camera housing. So they strapped that on instead of the bomb. Away they go. But that's a nice looking plane. I like that. Built in '61. Nicknamed the missile with a man in it, Supersonic Starfighter was introduced by Lockheed Aircraft in '54 to intercept Soviet bombers. Short-lived in the U.S. Air Force, the F-104 is widely exported to Allied nations. So in Canada, 200 were built under license by Canadair, serving from '61 to '86 in nuclear strike, reconnaissance, and ground attack roles. Interesting. So this is a Sabre. They got a little model of one up there, but it was the last Royal Canadian Air Force last fighter armed with guns only. Built in 1958, this one was. Oh yeah, there's the guns on the side. Okay, so they didn't. Okay, so these holes. There's the barrels. Beware of intake, and this is the jet intake? Yeah, I'm guessing it is. Okay, so it is a jet. Formation of NATO in '49, Canadian government decided to re-equip RCAF's frontline fighter squadrons with modern jet aircraft and selected the F-86 Sabre. Canadair F-86 Sabre, huh. So kind of like their nose is like, it's the air intake, so it's kind of, it just looks funny that it doesn't have a point like all the other planes. It's just kind of a unique look. So just a single pilot. It has 6 50 cal machine guns. The museum Sabre, number 1815, was the last Sabre aircraft ever produced. So this is the last one. There might be others out there. I'm just saying this is the last one they built. Interesting. Okay, let's try going outside. I saw another door back this way. We're gonna go outside and check out the planes out there, and then we'll go up to the second level. Okay, I went outside and no alarms rang, so I think I'm okay to be out here. We don't have a lot of signage out here. I sort of thought we'd come across some explanation of the planes. That's okay. Oh, you can just smell the jet fuel out here too, because like that's the airport right here. Like we're on the, this is kind of the cargo, I think, end of the airport, but this is it. So you can smell it. You see, there's the Voodoo in the back over there. This big guy. Still don't know what that guy was for, but it's got windows along the side and windows on the front and bottom. I'm gonna guess it was for sort of for surveying, maybe cargo, maybe people too. But this, oh, I like the pool noodle. You gotta protect the points. But yeah, you can get like, you can go right up on these guys. Now, Voodoo, I think you can't. No, you can. Is there a way around it? Not really. This fence sort of stops us, but I can stick the camera up. You can take a look. I found one sign. So it's a Douglas A-26V Invader. Developed in '43 as a light bomber and ground attack aircraft. Served roles in the Second World War and the Korean War.
Altimeter 125, Winnipeg Tower, altimeter 3025, number 2, runway 36, following regional set 2 miles final. 305.
If you can see way over there, they're de-icing a plane, but they have a live video feed of it over here. But that's actually happening right about there. So they have a little sitting lounge up here. You can just sit and watch planes coming in, landing over at the airport. So if you've ever gone to air shows around here, you'll have heard of the snowbirds before. So they do aerial acrobatics. So they got one hanging from the roof here. So the Canadair CT-114 Tudor. So it was developed by Canadair of Montreal, and it was adopted by the Air Force as a trainer in the 60s. Oh, it has side-by-side seating. Okay. Easy handling, reliability, made it ideal for training. We're kind of working our way, we're on the second level obviously, but we're kind of working our way back to the start of the museum again. Let's see what else is up here. Oh yeah. Oh, other way, other way. You got a couple trainer planes over here. Oh, here's a little simulator thing too. I don't know if I'm allowed to touch this, but I'll find it. Looks like a wind tunnel kind of a deal. Yeah. Well, it beeped at me. Is that good or bad? Oh, it's going. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. You can you can stick things in. And now we're going to do a wing shaped. The band is warming up. I don't know how close we are to them starting their event tonight, but maybe I'll just end the video there. So if you're in the Winnipeg area and you have a few hours to spend, definitely worth dropping by. And there's more in here than this video covers, of course. It's always the case. There's more I gotta go back and look at too, because I probably missed a bunch of stuff too, but yeah. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, if you have not already, hit subscribe, hit a like, leave a comment below what's your favorite part. And if you're into aircraft stuff, I have another couple of videos from last year, the year before, at the Commonwealth Airtrain Planning Museum in Brandon, Manitoba. And they have a museum out there that's actually it was the actual hangar used in one of the bases, and they've restored it, turned it into a museum, and they have active planes, and you can actually go up in a plane. So if you want to see me go up in an old Tiger Moth biplane, that's on my channel. But I do like this museum that it's also on an active airport, like it's just adjacent to the Winnipeg airport. So you know, you got it very tied in very well, so you can see the air traffic control, you know, screens. You can hear them talking on the radio. You can see the de-icing. You can see planes taking off. It's a good setting for a museum like this. But I very much enjoyed this, so come check it out if you ever get a chance. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next video.